I'm Steven.
And I'm Daniel, but for the purpose of this duo, Steven will play Johnny, or Red Chief, a 40-pound chunk of freckled wildcat that's just the kind of kid that parents dote on, and Bill Driscoll, the object of Red Chief's fun.
Daniel will play Sam, the mastermind of the operation and narrator of the story, as well as Ebenezer Dorset, Red Chief's father.
Bill and Sam are on an operation to kidnap a boy and make a quick buck.
Now that the formalities are over with, please enjoy our interpretation of
The Ransom of Red Chief by O. Henry. It looked like a good thing, but wait till I tell you. We were down south in Alabama, Bill Driscoll and myself. It was, as Bill afterward expressed it.
During a moment of temporary mental apparition.
But we didn't find that out till later. The kid was a boy of 10.
And we figured that Ebenezer Dorset would melt down for a price of $2,000 to the cent. But wait till I tell you.
About 2 miles from Summit was a little mountain. On the rear elevation of this mountain was a cave. One evening after sundown, Bill and me drove in a buggy past old man Dorset's house. The kid was throwing rocks at a kitten on the opposite fence.
Hey, little boy, you want a bag of candy and a nice ride? That'll cost the old man an extra $500.
That boy put up a fight like a welterweight cinnamon bear. But at last we got him in the bottom of the buggy and came away. We took him up to the cave. The kid was watching my boiling pot of coffee with 2 buzzard tail feathers stuck in his red hair.
You dare enter the camp of Red Chief, terror of the plains? Oh. He's all right now. We're playing Indian. I'm old Hank the Trapper, Red Chief's captive, and I'm to be scalped at daybreak.
He immediately christened me
Snake Eye the Spy,
and announced that when his braves returned from the warpath, I was to be broiled at the stake at the rising of the sun. And then we had dinner, and he filled his mouth full of bread and bacon and gravy. Began to talk. He made a dirty knitting speech, something like this.
I like this fine. I've never camped out before, but I had a pet possum once. And I was 9 last birthday. I hate to go to school. Are there any real Indians in these woods? I want some more gravy. Does the trees move and make the wind blow? I don't like girls. Are there any dogs that make any noise?
Nah.
A parrot can talk, but a monkey or a fish can't.
Brock, a parrot can talk, but a monkey or a fish can't, Brock.
Have you got any beds for sleeping in this cave? How many does it take to make 12?
Just daybreak. I was awakened by a series of simply indecent, terrifying, humiliating screams. Such as women emit when they see ghosts or caterpillars. Red Chief was sitting on Bill's chest, with one hand twined in Bill's hair. On the other, he had the sharp case knife we used for slicing bacon, and he was industriously and realistically trying to take Bill's scalp, according to the sentence that had been pronounced upon him the evening before. I got the knife away from the kid, and made him lie back down. But from that moment, Bill's spirit was broken.
What are you doing up so early for, Sam?
I got a kind of pain in my shoulder. Thought getting up would rest it.
You're a liar. You used to be burned at daybreak and you thought he'd do it. He would too, if he could find a match. Ain't it awful? Do you think anyone would pay money to get a little imp like that back home?
Oh, sure. A rowdy kid like that is just the kind that parents dote on. Now after breakfast, Red Chief takes a piece of leather with strings wrapped around it and goes outside the cave unwinding.
What's he up to now? You think he'll run away? Do you, Sam?
Oh, no fear of it. He doesn't seem to be much of a homebody.
What?
It was a sling, and Red Chief was whirling it round his head.
Sam, you know what my favorite biblical character is?
Now take it easy, you'll come to your senses presently.
King Herod. You won't leave me alone, will you, Sam?
I went outside and I shook that boy till his crackers rattled. Now you'll behave, or I'll send you straight home. You understand?
I was only funning. I didn't mean to hurt old Hank. I'll behave if you won't send me home, and if you let me play Black Scout today.
I don't know the game. That's for you and Mr. Bill to decide. Now I'm going to Poplar Cove. I thought it best to send a peremptory letter to old man Dorset, demanding the ransom.
Make the ransom $1,500? I ain't trying to decry the celebrated moral aspect of parental affection, but we're dealing with humans here, and it ain't human for anyone to pay $2,000 for a 40-pound chunk of freckly wildcat.
So to relieve Bill, I acceded, and we collaborated a letter that ran in this way. Ebenezer Dorset, Esquire.
We have your child concealed in a place far from something.
It is useless for you or the most skilled detectives to attempt to find him.
Absolutely, the only terms by which you can have him returned to you are these.
We demand $1,500 in large bills for his return.
And the money to be left in the same box and in the same spot as your reply.
If you fail to accede to these terms, you will never see your boy again.
If you do accede to these terms I stated, your boy will be returned to you safe and well within 3 hours.
These terms are final, and if you do not comply with them, no further communication will be attempted. 2 desperate men.
Oh, Snake Eye! You said I could play Black Scout when you were gone.
Played, of course, Mr. Bill played with you.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Sam! Hurry back!
I went down to Poplar Cove, posted my letter, and came away. And when I got back to the cave, Bill and the boy were not to be found. In about 30 minutes, Bill wobbled out, and the boy was behind.
Now, I suppose you think I'm a renegade, but the boy's gone. I sent him home.
What's the trouble?
I was rowed 90 miles to the stockade, not bearing an inch, and then when the settlers was rescued, I was given oats. Sand ain't a palatable substitute. And then, for an hour, I had to explain why there ain't nothing in the holes, how the road can go both ways, and what makes the grass green. But I showed him the road to Summit, and I kicked him about 8 feet nearer in one kick. I'm sorry we lose the ransom, but it's either that or Bill Driscoll to the madhouse.
Now, Bill, there ain't any heart disease in your family, is there?
Nothing chronic but malaria and accidents. Why?
Then you might ought to turn around and have a look behind you. Exactly on time, a half-grown boy rides up the road on a bicycle. I got near to the lantern and opened it. Gentlemen, I received your letter today by post in regard to the ransom that you asked for the return of my son. And I think you're a little high in your demands. And I hereby make you a counter proposition, which I'm inclined to believe that you will accept. You pay me $250, and I'll take Johnny off your hands. Very respectfully, Ebenezer Dorset. Great pirates of Penzance! Oh, the impudence!
Sam, what's $250 anyway? Besides, we've got the money. One more night of that kid and send me to bed in Bedlam. I think Mr. Dorset, the spendthrift, for making us such a liberal offer. You ain't gonna let the chance go, are you?
You know, to tell you the truth, Bill, this little ewe lamb of ours has gotten somewhat on my nerves, too. We'll take him home tonight and make our getaway. When the boy learned we were taking him home, he started up a howl. He started up a howl like a cowlick and fastened himself tightly to Bill's leg. His father peeled him away gradually.
How long can you hold him?
I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I think I can promise you 10 minutes.
Enough! In 10 minutes, I shall cross these central, southern, and middle western states and be legging it trippingly to the Canadian border.
And as dark as it was, and as fat as Bill was, and as good a runner as I am, he was a good mile and a half out of sight before I could catch up.